I hope Mike bites both of Jake Paul's ears off. And quite frankly, me too, because I don't want to hear any of you dumb fucks anymore.
From the moment Jake Paul announced his fight with Mike Tyson, he faced relentless criticism from boxing fans, especially Tyson's dedicated followers. Known for his confidence, Jake Paul expected backlash but couldn't have anticipated the level of contempt many fans directed toward him. The first press conference for the fight, held at the Fanatics Fan Fest in New York City, underscored this dynamic. As Jake took the stage, he was met with intense boos, while Tyson received roaring cheers, a sign of the public sentiment favoring the legendary Tyson over the internet sensation Paul. This reaction was fueled by the stark contrast between Tyson's reputation as a fearsome heavyweight champion and Paul's background in social media and YouTube. Many fans see Jake as an outsider in boxing, someone who can entertain but doesn't belong at the level of legends like Tyson. However, Jake Paul remains defiant, shrugging off the hate with his typical bravado. He responded to the jeers by reminding fans he brought the fight deal to Tyson, implying that he's responsible for making it happen. Tyson, for his part, poked fun at Paul, calling him a YouTuber, which only intensified the fans' chants against Paul. Paul's strategy here is clear. Lean into the villain role and harness the publicity, even if it's negative. He believes the detractors fuel his rise in the sport, making him relevant in a way that few newcomers can match. In response to this criticism, Paul argued that he could not only stand up to the baddest man on the planet, but ultimately beat him. He's betting on his reputation for shocking victories and unpredictable moves, confident that he can turn the negativity into motivation. The press conference provided a preview of the electrifying buildup and revealed how Paul seems to thrive in the underdog role, sparring with haters as eagerly as he does in the ring. Tyson, meanwhile, embraced the fan support, projecting confidence while promising a fight worthy of his career's legacy. As both fighters continue promoting the event, it's clear that Paul isn't just reacting to his critics, he's using their words as fuel to prove them wrong in the fight of his career. In response to the wave of backlash from Mike Tyson's loyal fan base, Jake Paul has maintained a defiant stance, showcasing his knack for stirring up conversation.
If Iron Mike lands a solid left or right hook, Paul is going to start a cooking channel. Couldn't be more accurate.
Recently, as the fight date approached, Paul even reshared a 4-year-old tweet that Tyson had once posted, expressing some admiration for the influencer's unconventional rise in boxing. Jake reflected on how much things had changed since then, linking his journey from YouTube stardom to boxing alongside Tyson's original support for him. Fans, however, saw this as opportunistic. Many viewed Paul's post as a self-promotional move to justify a fight with someone Tyson's age, sparking a flood of sarcastic comments. Some fans pointed out that despite Tyson's support years ago, the current bout between a 27-year-old Paul and a 58-year-old Tyson was almost absurd. Jake hasn't shied away from mimicking Tyson either. In an event clip shared by Paul's sports betting platform, Better, Paul exaggerated Tyson's push during their face-off, a move that Tyson himself found humorous, but many fans interpreted as disrespectful. Paul's over-the-top reaction brought on a fresh wave of criticism, with fans labeling the mockery as juvenile. Still, rather than retreating, Jake played up the exchange, making the shove a social media moment, fully aware that every reaction, whether positive or negative, helps keep him in the spotlight. Aside from the playful antics, Jake has received direct calls to fight someone his own age. He's brushed these off, indicating his belief that his abilities make the age gap irrelevant. For Paul, the criticism might just be noise, but for Tyson's fans, the fight feels like an insult to Tyson's legacy and boxing as a whole. Since Jake Paul entered the boxing scene, his impact on social media engagement has been unmistakable, revolutionizing how fans interact with the sport. Paul's notoriety as a social media influencer has allowed him to bring his massive audience to boxing, pulling in millions of fans who might not have been traditional boxing followers. This reach has amplified with the build-up to his fight with Mike Tyson, as fans from both camps generate immense online activity through comments, memes, and speculations. When the fight was announced, it stirred up a social media frenzy, quickly going viral across platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Tyson's and Paul's training videos further fuel the online conversation, with fans eagerly comparing the 57-year-old Tyson's raw power and experience to Paul's evolving but still youthful skill set. Many fans have shared Tyson's training videos on social media, praising his power and skill, while others mock Paul's approach by highlighting the stark contrast between the fighters' training styles. A portion of Paul's online audience is supportive, recognizing his achievements as a boxer who has taken his career seriously and sparred with big names like Anderson Silva and Tyron Woodley. However, fans of Tyson and purists argue that Paul's career, mainly built on beating MMA fighters, dilutes the essence of boxing, especially when compared to Tyson's legendary history in the ring. This divide on social media showcases the polarized reactions to Paul's impact, with some celebrating the excitement he brings to the sport, and others criticizing his style and skill compared to Tyson. Despite the criticism, Jake Paul's influence on social media engagement is undeniable. His knack for marketing and generating buzz has brought a new wave of engagement and viewers to the sport, which has been a driving factor in the fight's promotion. The upcoming match has already gained significant traction, illustrating how social media hype can elevate the event beyond the traditional boxing fan base. Jake Paul's fight against Mike Tyson has sparked an intense reaction among fans and professional fighters alike. Many fans expressed strong disapproval, concerned that the fight could exploit Tyson's legacy for profit rather than highlighting the sport's genuine competition. Fans feel that Tyson, at 58, facing Paul, who is only 27, could create an uneven match that risks Tyson's health and reputation. Renowned figures in the boxing world have been especially vocal, with many taking to social media to share their views. Professional fighters have been among the loudest critics. UFC's Renato Moicano tweeted a scathing response calling the idea disgusting and suggesting that fans should protest this matchup. Meanwhile, Billy Quarantillo remarked on the age gap, suggesting that Tyson's years of physical toll would make him vulnerable in a fight against Paul, who's younger and less impacted by the sport's wear and tear. This reflects a larger sentiment that Paul's fights, often perceived as entertainment spectacles, might detract from boxing's competitive essence. Many Tyson fans find themselves torn, excited by the chance to see the legendary fighter return to the ring, yet wary of seeing his career legacy potentially tarnished. Tyson has become a symbol of boxing history, admired for his skill and feared for his intensity. Fans worry that a loss or an uneven fight could overshadow his storied career, which includes being the youngest heavyweight champion and achieving significant influence within and beyond the sport. The reactions highlight not only the generational gap between Tyson and Paul, but also differences in how they approach boxing. Tyson fans in particular are protective of his legacy and often view Paul's involvement in boxing as an unwelcome departure from the sport's traditions. The concerns are about more than just boxing. They're a defense of the sport's authenticity and respect for its legends. Jake Paul's mindset and approach to the highly anticipated fight with Mike Tyson reveal a blend of confidence and self-assuredness. Leading up to the fight, Jake has expressed determination, promising to use his youth, speed, and agility to his advantage against Tyson, who, at nearly 58, is undeniably a veteran of the ring. Many fans have wondered how Paul will handle the pressure, but he remains certain that his skill and consistent training in the boxing ring will give him an edge. Despite facing fierce criticism from boxing purists and Tyson's longtime fans, Paul has emphasized that he isn't intimidated, even expressing on social media that he's ready to make history by facing one of the most iconic fighters in boxing. While Tyson's history and reputation intimidate many fighters, Paul insists that he sees this as an opportunity to prove himself against a legend. During a recent podcast episode, he watched footage of Tyson's training, and his reaction was a mix of awe and humor. Although acknowledging Tyson's impressive technique, Paul has refrained from expressing any fears about the challenge, claiming he feels no nervousness when stepping into the arena. Instead, Paul leans into the high-profile nature of the fight, seeing it as a chance to solidify his presence in the boxing world. Social media reactions have been split. While Paul's fan base is excited to see him face Tyson, many are vocal about the perceived mismatch, given Tyson's legendary status and power in the ring. Some fans of Tyson have flooded Paul's social media with skepticism, doubting Paul's readiness and questioning the legitimacy of the fight itself. Tyson's followers feel this match may be exploitative, taking advantage of Tyson's age to boost Paul's career. Figures like KSI have echoed these sentiments, stating publicly that they find the fight sad and unnecessary, which reflects a wider hesitation within the boxing community. On the other hand, Paul's fans argue that his willingness to face a living legend proves his commitment to challenging himself and rising in the sport. Now we're diving into Jake Paul's reaction to the intense training regimen of his upcoming opponent, Mike Tyson. The footage of Tyson's recent workouts has generated waves in the boxing community, revealing that, even in his late 50s, he's maintaining a frightening level of power, speed, and intensity in preparation for the highly anticipated match against Paul. When Jake was shown clips of Tyson's training, he seemed caught off guard, taking a moment to lean forward and absorb what he was seeing. His reaction initially was one of awe, and he even joked nervously when his girlfriend, Judah Leardam, asked, "What if he knocks you out?" Paul brushed off the question with humor, laughing but subtly acknowledging the challenge that Tyson's power still represents. Despite his confidence, he looked genuinely surprised by Tyson's form, which highlighted highlights how seriously Tyson is taking this fight, even after years away from professional competition. While Paul remains confident about his own speed and technique, he expressed that watching Tyson's preparation underscored the challenge ahead. He commented on his own confidence and years of training, suggesting that his experience in high-profile matches gives him an edge in handling pressure. In this section, we'll explore how Jake Paul reacted to the online commentary and critiques from fans of Mike Tyson, some of the most passionate in the boxing community. Since the announcement of the fight, Tyson's fans have taken to social media to express a range of intense opinions, and Jake's reactions to these opinions reveal how he's approaching this high-stakes event. Many Tyson fans took to the comments to express disbelief and frustration that Paul, with his relatively short boxing history, would be daring enough to face Tyson, who is an undisputed legend in the sport. Words like disrespectful and arrogant have been commonly directed toward Paul, with fans saying that his decision to take on Tyson shows a lack of respect for the skill and dedication it takes to become a boxing great. When confronted with these types of comments, Jake responded in his usual style, asserting his confidence, downplaying the critics, and insisting that he respects Tyson but believes in his own ability and training to meet the challenge head-on. He's publicly said, "People are doubting me? Good. I'll prove them wrong, like I always do." This comment points to the motivation Jake often draws from his critics, using it to fuel his determination in training. Jake Paul's confidence in the lead-up to his fight with Mike Tyson is undeniable, and he's not shying away from the heat that comes with facing a boxing legend. However, one of the most interesting aspects of his response to Tyson's fans' hate comments is the way he's addressing the negativity with a mindset that focuses on motivation rather than being bogged down by it. For Jake, the trolls and detractors provide fuel for his fire. In fact, he's used the hate comments as an opportunity to showcase his mental toughness and belief in his own skill set, something that his supporters admire about him. Jake has consistently reminded his followers that he's not new to criticism, whether it was his controversial YouTube career, his boxing debut, or the many challenges he's faced along the way. Jake has developed a thick skin, but what stands out is his refusal to back down from any challenge, no matter how big or intimidating. For him, the more people doubt him, the more determined he becomes to succeed and prove them wrong. This mindset isn't just limited to Tyson fans. He's carried it throughout his entire boxing journey, from his early days fighting YouTubers to now preparing for one of the most talked about matches in boxing. In his most recent comments, Jake has stressed that while Tyson's fans can criticize him all they want, they should never underestimate his work ethic and resolve. He's posted numerous videos showcasing his intense training and sparring sessions, many of which feature him in the gym pushing himself to the limit. These videos have not only served as a response to critics, but also as a statement that Jake is taking this fight seriously, no matter the opinions of Tyson's devoted followers. Moreover, Jake has repeatedly pointed out that he has nothing to lose. This fight is all about proving himself, and in his eyes, it's a win-win situation. Either he beats Tyson and shuts up the critics, or he gains valuable experience from a high-profile match with one of boxing's greatest legends. Jake has also acknowledged that the fight with Tyson is a massive opportunity for growth, both inside and outside the ring. Despite his brash confidence, he understands that Tyson is a completely different animal compared to anyone he's faced before. This reality hasn't stopped Jake from making bold statements, but it has encouraged him to train harder and smarter. According to him, Tyson's legendary status only makes the fight more meaningful and gives him the chance to elevate his own status in the boxing world. His response to Tyson's fans isn't just about defense, it's about positioning himself as a serious competitor in the boxing ring, not just another celebrity fighter trying to make a name. Jake Paul's response to the hate comments by Mike Tyson's fans reflects his growth as a fighter and his unshakable self-belief. Instead of getting discouraged by the negativity, he's using it to fuel his ambition and training. Jake's reaction shows the mindset of someone who's determined to prove that, despite the doubts, he has the skills and tenacity to succeed. Whether he wins or loses, Jake Paul is certain that his journey in boxing will continue to be shaped by his response to those who question his abilities. Jake Paul's response to the hate from Mike Tyson's fans has proven one thing. He thrives under pressure. Rather than crumbling under the weight of criticism, he uses it as motivation to train harder, focus more, and prove everyone wrong. His bold confidence, while controversial to some, is part of what makes him a dangerous and unpredictable fighter. Whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny the impact he's having on the sport of boxing. As the fight approaches, Jake is positioning himself as a serious contender, not just another social media star trying to make a quick buck. This is his chance to prove that his journey in boxing is more than just a publicity stunt. It's a path toward earning respect in the sport. Tyson fans can keep criticizing, but at the end of the day, Jake Paul is ready to show that he's here to stay, and nothing will stop him from pursuing his boxing dreams. The question now is, will Jake's self-belief and hard work be enough to take down one of boxing's most feared legends, or will Tyson's experience and reputation prove too much? Only time will tell. One thing's for sure, though. The world will be watching closely when these two finally face off.